Oh my goodness. Episode 7. Welcome back. What's Your Story podcast with Mike Lindstrom, Scott Leese. We're bringing our guy, Scott Pasmore. This guy's Mr. TV, right? 35 years in television, Channel 3, Channel 5, coming at you in the morning news. This guy's lifestyle is insane. Not only is he a TV personality, he's a life enthusiast. He's a pilot, home builder, literally. But most importantly, he's a friend of mine. I met Scott in 2008 when I was promoting my book. I used to go on to TV shows here locally and promote my books with 5-minute hits. So to be able to flip the script and have Scott be in my chair, our chair, and talk for a full hour and ask that question, Scott Pasmore, what's your story? What's the next chapter of your life? What are you going to do beyond TV land? He's going to answer some of those questions. You're going to love Scott. Entertaining guy, just well-spoken, just a cool guy. The kind of guy that you get a man crush on pretty quick if you're a guy like myself. So Scott Pasmore, enjoy the show. Oh, my goodness. Mike Lindstrom here. What's your story? My man, my friend, my co-host, Scott Leese.
What's up, man?
You know what we got today?
No, tell me.
Oh, my gosh. This is one of my guys in Arizona. I've known this guy since '08. And this guy, I would call him Mr. TV in local. Now, I know you're in Austin, Texas, so you don't really know what's going on.
I haven't watched the local news in
I
Scottsdale
understand
for a while.
that. In fact, when we were coming in today, I said, if you want to watch who we're going to have on today,
you said turn on the television.
Let's go turn on the television. We'll see who my guy is today. So we're excited about this episode. Scott Pasmore, I'll let the cat out of the bag. Scott Pasmore and I met when I was first promoting my first book. We'll get into some of those stories in a little bit. The first book, I believe, is a dating book, 10 Secrets Every Woman Should Know from Two Guys That Do. And it was the other way around. Today, I got him in the chair, and we get to interview him about a lot of things that are not necessarily about TV, but we can get into some of that stuff. So first of all, Scott, thanks for coming on. I know you're a busy guy. I know
I'm not that busy.
I don't know how you do your life, man. But the first question we start with, as the name says, is what's your story? This is the abbreviated version of who the hell is Scott anyway? So tell us what you want to share with us.
I'm still trying to figure that out. By the way, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor. It's kind of funny. I think about my TV career, now 35 years at Channel 3. Incredible. It's like I never thought I'd do anything that long in my life.
It's amazing.
All my relationships together don't add up to that. All my friendships, nothing. It's been really strange, but at the same time, really awesome. So I think I got about 2 more years in me. It'll be 38 when I think I'm going to retire. And it's been an amazing ride.
Retire. What does that mean?
From TV.
Okay.
Not
we're going to get into all the things you do. But I have to ask you, since you brought up TV, we ask what's your story. Identities come out different ways, but you talked about TV right out of the gate, so let's talk about that. How do you do that? I mean, camera ready, makeup, getting up at the same time. Give us a day in the life of it. When are you waking up? When are you going to bed? How do you do this for that long? That is amazing to me.
Well, thank you. I go to bed. It's funny. That's the number one asked question of me is what time you go to bed and what time you get up. They always want to know that. Nothing else, really.
Well, we're going to get to that. We got more stuff. I'm starting off G-rated here.
I go to bed. I try to shoot for 8:30 or 9. I get up at 4 and get to work by 5 and go over the scripts that I'm going to read, usually in the first hour. I'm on 6 to 10. The rest of the show they're still working on, so I get an idea of where we're going in the 6 o'clock hour. I throw on a little bit of powder, a little bit of makeup, not much, not really into that, and then I go do my show.
So what's, other than the schedule, I think that's the most ridiculous thing that would be challenging for me, the schedule to wake up and get up. But we laugh at the schedule, but I honor that. Outside of that, what's the most difficult part about your job?
I think why I've been able to do this for so long is I don't make a big deal out of it. It's just going to work. I'm in people's living rooms and their bedrooms, and I never looked at that as a big deal. I'm just doing my job. I look into the camera and I read. I bring the news. I smile, try to be funny, and that's all I ever thought of it as being. I never looked at it as a big deal. It's just doing my job. It's just that my job is in this little, not little, but your little box in your room.
Yep.
And so there's really nothing hard. I mean, do I get stressed? No, not at this point. I get anxious when I do some interviews, more so if it's something I don't know much about, but I always try to prep myself, obviously. And I don't know. I never looked at it as, wow, this is so difficult.
Yeah.
The hours are hard.
Because I think to myself, there's almost like a military level of discipline required.
Exactly.
And that in and of itself kicks out 99 point whatever % of people who could do that job. So I look at it as like, no, you're being humble right now. Like, that is a difficult thing to do.
The other day I was thinking, why am I? Because I'm always, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late.
Got
It's
that
just
too.
the way I've lived my life, and I thought, why am I like that? I think it's because of my TV job. Everything is 3, 2, 1, go. There is no, I can't show up to work late.
Yeah.
I can't be on the set late. Everything is to the second. My entire adult life has been a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. And so it makes your whole life like, whoa, I'm going to be late. I can't be late. And so I live my life like that.
You have all these other things, and I want you to share all these other things, but I know flying is one of them. I know traveling, fandom. I know you're a Chiefs fan. I mean, you're on social. I mean, it's hard not to be when you're on television. Good, bad, or indifferent. You know, it's kind of the necessary evil of social media, and you and I've talked about that. But how do you do that? How do you, I mean, that's game time every day, but then you manage to do these other things. So do you schedule things in advance? When it comes to time management, do you say, okay, my calendar is booked 90 days out, 6 months out? We're big on time management and how leadership works. How do you do that?
I'm big on time management, but I'm never too busy where I got to do it 60 days out. It's like the week of or the week, so I'll put it in my phone. But I don't know. I have to say the one thing I've been blessed with is an abundance of energy. I don't take naps really. I get by on 5-6 hours sleep. I go to the gym, and then I try to play golf any day that I can. And then when I can, I'll go fly. And then I build homes. I love real estate. That's become really everything I do outside of 3TV. And so I don't know. I just make it happen. I go, man. I never stop.
When I think back the first time, I knew who you were before I knew you, just like everybody in Arizona. You saw this guy on television. And from my side, when I was sitting in the guest chair, especially coming on television, it was a little intimidating for me at the time because I didn't know who you guys were.
Yeah.
If they don't have a rapport with
know.
a guest, right? It's a little.
Yeah.
I did not get that feeling from you. I think that's one of the things that makes you great because I had never met you from anybody. I put you up here, and inside of 30 seconds, I feel like I knew this guy forever. I mean, you probably get that feeling. You've just met this guy, and you're like, this guy is so good at what he does. But how do you do that? Is that something you consciously think of? Is it the prep? Do you not prep? Like, what gives you that ability to get rapport with people? Because I think that's a skill that makes you different, in my opinion, being on this side.
I appreciate that. I feel like I grew up on a farm in Kansas, so I'm just a good old boy. I feel like I'm kind of a redneck in some respects. I shop at Walmart. It's just who I am. And so I feel like I can relate to any person. So that's one of the challenges of the job, I guess, that there is somebody will come in and you're going to interview them. And if I got stories leading right up to them, I literally have 30 seconds to get some kind of rapport going, for the next 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. So I don't know. I just feel like it kind of comes natural to me, but I just feel like I come across as a down-to-earth and regular dude, and that's the way
you definitely do.
I go with it.
I'm big on the power of questions. We talk about that in sales for sure, but in life, obviously, what's your question? What's our favorite stories, or what's your story? And then you think about the rapport-building questions. Do you have any go-tos when you're sitting there and you got that 30 seconds to pivot?
I always ask where they're from, and I hopefully, because being from the Midwest, I somehow try to relate to them on that basis, and or if usually it's an interview that I'm really interested in a subject, so I have a past with it, or I know something about it, so I can hit them with something that they know I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that's usually what I do.
Skill, man.
Next to the everyman kind of vibe, though, is a pilot. I saw a video of you riding a bull.
I did do
got
that.
Injured.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're the everyman, but also like you're a little bit of a wild man, maybe.
I do like that.
There's a risky streak. There
is.
Streak,
I used to race sprint cars on the dirt tracks here.
There you go.
In my 40s, and that's very dangerous.
How are you balancing those two pieces of your life and your personality?
I thought that I think it's kind of cool that people see me in a tie, and so they think maybe I'm this stuck-up dude.
Yeah.
But I'm at home swinging a hammer. I got a million tools. I love that kind of stuff. I love getting dirty, racing sprint cars, going to the dunes. I had a sandrail for a few years. So it's growing up on a farm. I grew up on horses and riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
So that's at the core of who I am.
All right, I got to ask, since he brought it up, and this was not scripted, by the way. I was just getting him prepped up. So if I remember right, I think the bull's name was Candy Crush.
That's right.
Candy Crush was the name of the bull. And this is a beginner bull.
It was
a beginner bull. How the hell did this
Still was
happen?
big.
How did this happen? Who the hell? Maybe it was you. We're like, whoa, I got this, guys. I'm going to go out there. Was it Olivia?
She was with me. We're doing a field trip Friday out in Cave Creek.
Tell the story.
It's pretty much the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I've always had this thought that, well, if there's cameras around you, you're going to be okay. You can't get hurt. It's the dumbest thing I've ever thought of. But so we're out in Cave Creek and we're doing this segment, and they go, okay, here's Candy Crush. You're going to sit up on this bull. By the way, this thing's back is like this wide. I mean, my feet barely went over the side, and I got kids' tennis shoes on, and I hadn't stretched out. And they go, I go, how do you want me to do this? They go, oh, you're just going to sit on it. I go, if I'm going to get on this bull, I'm going to ride this dang thing. So I never, you know how when you're in the gym, you stretch out your biceps,
yeah?
you know? Well, I didn't have a chance to do any of that. And I'm like, just give me the helmet. I'll ride this darn thing. And Olivia's like, you're going to ride this? And I go, yeah, why not? How hard can it be? Because I've ridden a mechanical bull, right, as a much younger person. So they're strapping my hand in that thing, and they go, okay, you ready? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then I rode it. I actually rode it for 7 seconds.
You almost got to 8 seconds.
Because it took for a second for the bull to get going. He comes out, and then he jumped. And when he jumped and went I went this way, and it popped my bicep.
Well, you can see in the video, Olivia's carrying on. Olivia's a mutual friend of ours. I've known Olivia for years that I met him. She's carrying on like anything in TV. Hey, Scott, you did great. And you can see Scott's over there like
ooh, I hurt
shaking
something.
his arm out.
I knew I popped it. Yeah.
You knew, huh?
Yeah, but I finished doing the show. So
did.
during the commercials, I would put ice on it, and then I would do the show.
Any recurring issues with the bicep? Or are you good?
No, we're good. I have a little scar here. I was thinking about putting a tattoo, no bull, right there. So I have a no bull riding policy. If somebody wants to do it, I'm like, go ahead, but I wouldn't recommend
Yeah,
it.
done that one already.
I mean, just because, they don't. How do you get off the thing? I just rolled off they didn't say.
I can't believe that.
So
But I think flying, I don't have a fear of flying. I certainly don't. I fly private every once in a while, but being on smaller planes, there's just something about it. Different for a lot of people. How did that happen? I mean, that's in the spirit of Daredevil. I don't think that's Daredevil. It's a passion. You have to know your instruments. You got to be trained. How did that come into your life?
I just am lucky with this. I have the best job in the world, I think. And I got to go up in an F-16 out of Luke. I got to go up in an FA-18 Blue Angel. Mm-hmm. Who gets to do that? And so after going up in a bunch of different aircraft and doing aerobatics and things up in the air, rolling, and I thought, I want to get my pilot's license. And so I went and did it, and my instructor was the chief pilot at Phoenix PD at the time for their helicopter and fixed wing. I got it at Deer Valley with another buddy of mine. We did it in like 6 months, and then I kept going. I knew I wanted to get my instrument because at the time I was flying into Orange County a lot. Yep. There's a lot of clouds and marine layer out there, so you have to be instrument rated to get through that. So then I got my instrument, and then I wanted to move up to a twin, and so I got my multi, and so that's I've been flying for like 16 years.
That's insane.
Best thing I've ever done by far.
What's the best part about being up there? Because you fly by yourself.
I do, yeah. If I got to go somewhere, it's so cool. I mean, you're up there, and you're going a couple 100 miles an hour, and you're getting there so much faster than you would in a car. And I'm just fortunate enough to be able to afford to do that, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
You got to ask him your travel hack question, man.
Yeah. Well, the travel hack is I just fly myself, and then I avoid TSA and the lines and all that stuff.
He loves asking guests travel hack. He likes thinking about travel hacks. Since we brought it up, what's a good travel hack? Not necessarily flying private for yourself, but what's a good travel hack for this guy?
I got to tell you, I'm behind the times with that. I just got my TSA pre-check like 2 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness!
I am behind the times.
Wow.
But he doesn't need it. He's just flying.
I know that's.
Yeah, there's we don't check IDs on Pasmore Air.
Pasmore Air, I love it. So no hacks, huh?
No, not really.
You don't really have one, and you get to fly with your dog.
Yeah, I do.
When you fly out there?
I do. Yeah, he's great in the plane. He loves it.
And Ozarks is another.
Yeah,
not secret. I mean, it's kind of a known thing that you have ties there. What do you see the difference, or do you see ties between being a Phoenician, weather aside, people, culture? Is it similar, different? How do you see it?
It's small town. I love that. I grew up in a small town. It's my favorite thing. And so when I go back to the lake, everybody's just there to have a good time. Everybody's fun. Nobody's talking politics. None of the crap that you hear in a big city at times. So that's why I like it. I mean, it's just total relaxation.
Yeah.
Go back there.
The house thing, where did that come about? I know off camera you've mentioned this
Real
whole
estate?
thing. No, yeah, just this. You've never lived somewhere for a few period of time.
I've never
3
lived.
years.
I've never lived in a
3
house longer than 3 years.
Okay, I never knew
Think
that.
about that for a second. I don't think most.
That's crazy.
Yeah, most. It's not the reason I'm single, or not married, but most people wouldn't like that kind of lifestyle. So, the reason why is because when I started in TV, it was much different. You had to start very small and then move your way up. So I literally started in the smallest TV market in America. It was market 210, I think, Kirksville, Missouri.
Wow.
So, and I was making $10,000 a year. I could have worked at McDonald's and made more. And then I worked there a couple years and I quit because I couldn't get I was terrible and I couldn't get a job. I was sending all these tapes to like central Iowa and all these places where I didn't really want to live, but I wanted to get out of Kirksville and try to move up. And so finally I quit and just moved to Huntington Beach and lived for a couple years, got back into TV in Palm Springs, again, a $10,000 a year job. And then I moved to Albuquerque and I got up to $17,000 a year and I was married. And we bought our first house at the age of 25, I think, for 54 grand. I came home one day and my wife had changed the toilet. I go, how do you, because I wasn't a big tool guy back then. How'd you know how to do that? She's like, I don't know, I just did it. And I go, let's remodel this home. It was like 1,100 square feet, little Southwest style house. And she goes, okay. So we remodeled it. I learned to do all the tile and sinks and faucets and did all that stuff and the flooring. And we sold it for 85 grand. We bought it for 54. So we made 30. I was like, ding, 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 ding. I like this. I mean, it would have taken me more than 2 years at my job to make that kind of money.
And you had fun doing it.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. So then
And a togetherness kind of project at the time, too.
And I did another one in Albuquerque and then got a job here in Phoenix because I had been talking to them, and I've been doing homes ever since.
So you have one. I have the benefit of watching you on social, so I know there's some things you've been working on, but you have one right now that is in the mix, or
yeah, I've just got financing for it, and I work everything off construction loans. It's in North Scottsdale where I've built the last 4 homes.
Those aren't easy, right?
They're very hard.
Very difficult.
It's difficult. First of all, it's hard to find lots anymore because they're just not.
There's not.
I never wanted to go way out north, and so it's hard to find a lot, but I found one. And then it's hard to get money because I do it all by myself, and I was able to get that. So I'm just waiting for the city to wrap up with my permits and ready to go.
So when you're looking at, obviously some kind of master spreadsheet that you work off of it where it doesn't pencil. Is there certain rules of engagement that you have, whether it's a return? Sometimes not. I mean, you want to make money, obviously, but it could be, wow, it maybe doesn't make me as much, but I'm really passionate about this project. Is there anything that kind of moves the needle outside of the spreadsheet?
I've been really lucky. I've been lucky to more than double my money every single house. So
all of them here in Arizona.
Yeah. So it's all on how you build it. I mean, you can build it for $1,000 a foot, or you can build it for $300 a foot. So that's where you make or break.
Is it always the same partners you have on the project? Same architect?
It's me. Well, I have an architect.
Yeah, okay.
I've always used the same architect, and then my builder too. I've used a couple different builders, and I have this guy who builds in North Scottsdale, and he forgot yesterday more than I'll ever know about home building. And so we partner up and go at it. And I put everything I have into this. When I leave Channel 3, like at 11 or 11:30 or whatever, I go to the house and I'm there till sometimes 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Every day for a year and a half. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
It's so satisfying. I love it's great to stand out on the dirt, and it's like running a business. You have issues that come up every single day, and you're always putting out fires. We got this problem. We didn't see this in the plans. How are we going to work around? I love standing around with some guys and trying to figure out and solve problems. It's my favorite part.
So I know you're not a real estate expert, but you can weigh in on what the heck is going on in our market, man. What do you think about the Phoenix real estate market?
It's interesting. So it's now becoming more of a buyer's market, so the prices are dropping a little, but it's everybody that's moving here.
Yeah.
So many people want to live in Arizona, and then the high-end market is super strong. It's I build these homes that I can't afford for people who have money, because people with money always have money.
Yep.
So you can't really go wrong. And it's a strange market. Every time we talk about the market on TV, our market's always way different than the rest of the country.
Yep.
because people aren't leaving; they're coming here.
Yeah, he's in Austin, Texas, and you told him about the growth you were.
Austin's an awesome house
it's,
market, right?
I moved there in 2011, and the population has doubled essentially.
Right? Yeah,
in
because it's a great
14
place to
years
live.
since I've been there.
That's incredible.
So I'm sure home prices have gone through the roof, right?
Massively through the roof. Yeah, the first house I bought in Austin, I bought for 360 grand or something like that, and it's worth one something now.
Exactly.
Right?
And you're like,
Amazing.
I didn't fix it up. I didn't
what
do
the heck?
I didn't do anything crazy.
It's a great way to
Do
make
it.
money, though.
Yeah.
It's hard. My first house was 54 grand. It's a little harder now to get into the real estate market, but I always tell people, once you get in it, then you're in it, and it makes things so much easier. My first house, when I moved here, I got for 100 grand at 28th Street in Camelback, and it was a nice house on a third of an acre. I'm like, 100 grand. I got palm trees and this beautiful pool, and I remodeled the kitchen and the bathrooms and everything. And 100 grand now it's probably close to $1 million. I think probably 900s or something like that.
You got to keep tabs on your old places.
Oh yeah, I love driving by them and
That's the
see what
best?
other people have done.
Oh, that's-
I'm. When I grew up as a kid, my parents we'd drive around and look at homes, and I used to think, God, this is so boring. It's all I do. I love real estate.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I want to ask a question about the impact of technology. That's kind of my field. The impact of technology on news and how people consume news, how you've delivered the news. Been doing this for a long time. You've been through multiple kind of mini revolutions, if you will.
I have.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And depending on who you talk to or how far your head is in the sand, we're in the middle of one right now with AI.
Yeah.
And deep fake and all of these kind of things. I'm curious how you're looking at how people consume information right now and the medium of traditional news and where that's headed. Do you have a strong belief that it can continue as it's been, or is it like at risk?
Well, what I read,
You know what I mean?
TV news is on the decline.
Okay.
Yeah.
One, because people don't trust it as much as they used to. And two, they get their news, where's my phone? Here's TikTok. It's got to be a real story. I'll just read this. And that's taken over everything. As far as technology goes with our business, it's excellent and it's bad all at the same time, in my opinion. When I started, we had 3/4 tape, and we had to carry this. I started off carrying my own camera with a recording thing, so both hands were filled, and had to set up a tripod and zoom in like that was my face, and then I'd go stand there and move the tripod, and that was my stand-up. And then now, of course, everything's on chips, and we use cell phones all the time to record video because the quality is just as good as our $50,000 cameras. Plus, you can take them anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's excellent. We can get video from social media as long as we have the okay to do that. The approval, or YouTube, things like that. So your source of information and video is endless. You have no excuse for not getting video of something.
How often does that happen in your world? Because you're right, because I know you're on social, and you're right. You see something come through in real time, let's say on TikTok. Like I saw the one about the orca trainer. Mm-hmm. Did you see that? Some little orca trainer was allegedly killed. It's a fake story.
Yeah.
I saw that when it was happening in real time on social.
Yeah, that's why we have to be so careful, because somebody might say, hey, I'm not saying this happened, but they could send us, hey, look at this. You guys ought to run a story on that. We can't just go put it on TV because it may not be true.
Right.
I mean, it may be deep fake or AI generated.
Yeah. And it's getting harder and harder to tell the difference between the two.
It is. You see what they're doing with news anchors, these AI generated. You can't tell the difference.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think when I get out of the business in a couple years is probably going to be about the right time for me personally.
Yeah.
It's probably hard to conceptualize. Okay, you went from holding a camcorder to holding an iPhone. When you were holding the camcorder, there's no way you were like, one day I'm going to hold the iPhone.
Oh, heck
Now you're
no.
holding an iPhone.
Heck
so
no.
now I like to ask people, what is somebody going to hold in 10 years, 20 years?
mean,
Are you going to hold anything even?
I don't know. I mean, like we have a guy that runs our teleprompter for the cameras, and I'm like, why isn't there a machine that can just run that? Why do we need a person doing that? And they're like,
anymore.
oh, there is. But it's hard. It loses you when you start ad-libbing.
Yeah.
And so there's something for everything out there. And I'm sure someday, when I first started, there was a person behind the studio camera moving them around and zooming in. Now it's all run by computers. People are like, do you get nervous? I'm like, there's nobody in there. Just they're basically my friends and a camera. So no, it's not like there's 100. If there was 100 people there, I probably would be nervous. But technology is just amazing. So I have no idea where we're going in the future. I don't even know if TV news will be around. I'm sure it will be, but
Monica and I were talking because Monica, she did legal stuff for a long time. She covered the Jodi Arias trial, and she's doing national stuff for a long time. And now she's a judge, so she's not on social or media in general at all. And we talk about we're friends with most of the local community media, Channel 3, 5, 15, Kaylee, the crew. And we go on more and more, and we see a younger person, another younger person, and someone you never saw before. And of course, Monica and I chuckle, and we're like, how much do you think we're paying that girl right there? How much do you think we're paying that guy right there? And then you look at a guy like who's been here for 35 years. That's, to me, what makes it more impressive, that you're still doing what you're doing. Or you even look at Tara. I mean, Tara did this for a long time with you. She was your biggest sidekick for the longest time. But I see that too, and I'll make that statement. You don't need to agree with it. That's what I notice. When I watch television, I'm like, that's interesting. So the average age of XYZ channel is what, maybe 25, 26, and they're making a fraction. So you know the talent that's happening at that level. But to his point, the information, those jobs.
The difference is that when I started, I remember I was at this like symposium with news directors, and I lived in Kansas City and I was in college, and they were like, oh, you got to go to this small market, make your mistakes, pay your dues before you can move up. And I go, well, can I just go straight to Kansas City? And the news director's like, no, you can't. I'm like, well, what if I get a job there? And he goes, you're not. And I go, well, what if I do? And he goes, you're not. And I'm like, okay. And so it was different then. You did have to start small and work your way up. Now they're coming right out of college going to the big markets. I mean, well,
they already have a huge following from someplace.
Yeah, social media. I mean, the young people are bright. They're very smart, and it's a lot smarter than I ever was. And so that's the difference. But also, I think less people are going into this business for whatever reason. Yep. So it's harder to find people.
Well, you're right, though. I mean, even the influencers. I have some friends that wanted to go into traditional journalism in the last 5 years, even at ASU. They have great school there, right? Cronkite.
Fantastic.
One of the best in the country. And they're like, why would I do that? To your point, I'm making, 10 grand, 17 grand way back in the day. To them, whatever that number is now, 35, 38, 40 grand, they're like, I can go be an influencer on TikTok or YouTube and be able to create partnerships and do it on my own.
Right. Or you can do a lot of careers and make probably 80 grand out of college. It took me, I don't know how many years. I mean, it was 20 years before I made that much money.
Yeah.
And so that's they need to pay more.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard work.
It's hard work.
People give up their personal lives. They're getting up. I'm very lucky, but I still have odd hours. But our producers are getting up at midnight and coming in and writing. They're working holidays. It's a hard job.
There's no days off.
No, there really isn't. Yeah.
And you're giving up your privacy.
Yeah,
when you're
you do.
When you're
that's
forward facing.
You kind of accept that. And I've worked a million Christmases. I mean, I'm at to the point where I don't have to anymore. But when you're paying your dues, you're paying your dues. But it's bringing up the age thing. Like we have a producer for each hour. Mm-hmm. And I'll go, hey, just out of curiosity, what year were you born? And they're like, 2000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was at the station. So 89 is when I got there. I was like, I was at the station so many years before. Wait a minute, how old are your parents? Oh, they're like 50s. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting old.
Well, and the other thing I think is interesting, it's even tougher for a woman, like watching my wife do it, it was a lot easier because she got a hit time. She'd be in and out of there. She didn't have to do the whole thing. Like our friends, the people he works with, the ladies, April, mom, right? Gina, mom. I mean, you look at Yetta. I mean, these are Kaylee at 15. So incredible women, but these are incredible moms, and they're trying to create life balance. They're trying to be mama bears at home, and they have to worry about the makeup and the hair.
You're so right. It's so. I always say I've got it so easy. I just come in and.
Dude, imagine me, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, little powder up there. Get rid of that shine. You're good to go, Mike. But I always say the women have it so hard. I mean, they're all moms. They're always dealing with their kids on the phone in the morning, just like any parent. Yep. I don't have to do any of that. So, it's way different for them. Then they got to look good. They're getting up at 2 a.m, an hour earlier probably to get their makeup and the dress and their hair and everything. And then they got to, occasionally take shots from idiots out there who are picking on them because something doesn't look right. Yep. And it's very different.
That's got to be a part of your business that exponentially has gotten worse. That
It
there's
has.
sort of pot shots, cheap shots. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a
Yes.
microphone.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
You know, you could go up there and be like, "Hey, I'm going to give everybody here in town $1 million." Somebody's
complain.
going to yell at you, and be
You're
like,
so right.
"That's not $1 million, Scott.
Yeah.
You forgot about taxes.
Yeah, you're
an asshole."
You're so right
Yeah.
about that. I've been pretty lucky. If you get somebody, your suit's too tight. When I wear tennis shoes with my suits, which a lot of people do now. Why don't you learn to dress? I'm like, whatever. I mean, when's the last time you went and bought a suit? 1980. I mean,
That's
you just can't say anything.
We talk about that.
Everybody's got an opinion. You just
but I'm
you
sure-
gotta
You get
gotta be-
backlash.
You
I
gotta
get
let it
backlash
go.
all the time.
Yeah.
But I got to
No
ask
matter
him,
what
though,
I do.
because we talked about this on our podcast. I had that big Fox hit way back in 08, first time at national television live on David Osman to promote something. And he asked me the question. It was totally off color. It wasn't even in my wheelhouse. He's talking about national abortion, and that wasn't what I was there to talk about. I'm deer in headlights, live on camera.
I would be too.
And I'm like, what the hell is he doing? He's thinking I'm this guy versus this guy. I got all this great feedback, and I get one a-hole who sends me an email from my website going, "Oh, you guys are the same. You never answer the questions." And it affected me. Now, this is my first big TV
Yeah.
hit. He talks about, he'll post something on LinkedIn. It's a separate story, but he just had one, and it was very benign. And haters just kept piling in. I'm looking at this. I'm like, there's nothing even in that. And it affects you a little bit. Does that not affect you?
Yeah,
when
of course
you see
it does.
those things, or do you not look at them?
Heck yes, I see them. I see everything. I mean,
Okay.
because you want to.
Sure.
You want to know if people, like if one or two people say it, you got to let it roll off your back. But if it's ever a lot of people, then maybe you got to take a look at something. But early on in my career, when somebody would say something mean, I would leave work and I'd be out in public, and you're thinking, does everybody think that about
Yeah.
me? And it freaks you out.
natural, right?
It is, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. It's taken me, because I used to kind of fight back with him on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Why, because I got a kick out of it.
Keyboard warrior
And then my
time.
bosses were like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing? You
Yeah.
can't do it." I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." But I did learn something a long time ago. I had just gotten here, and on the air, I'll never forget it. I said February instead of February, and this lady emailed me, and she's like, "What were you? Did you even graduate from 8th grade? You're so stupid. It's February," and she's spelling it out, and I'm like, I get on my keyboard, and I'm like, "You," and then I'm like, "Nah, delete. I'm sorry. You're right. I should have said that correctly. I grew up saying it that way, so my bad. I'm sorry." She wrote me back and said, "OMG, I didn't expect that from you. I'm so sorry that I ever even said that. I'm a big fan now."
Kill him with kindness.
So
Good.
it's true. If you kill, because I don't know what that person's going through on its. I have bad days. We all do. Where you just see something and maybe you're not in a good mood. So I gotta, you gotta be that way. You gotta be better about that. Just go, "Yeah, you're right. I'll work on that."
So you don't love social media, I bet. You don't love it.
I love social media.
No, but that part, that part you don't like, but you're using it as a
nah,
tool in a good way, and you're able to frame it the right way mentally.
Yeah, like I say, I'm pretty laid back about everything. So
Yeah.
it still bothers you, but
Yeah.
you let
I'm glad
it comes with you understand it. If you're going to be on social media,
Yeah.
you're going to do this show. You're going to get some guy or woman who's going to take a shot at you.
Each platform, I think, is different in the level of vitriol that gets spit your way.
That's true. That's
And
definitely true.
on LinkedIn, for the most part, it's like a real person. You can see where they work.
They're
you can see
vetted.
their picture. You go to like Twitter or Instagram, and it's like XYZ7234. It's like some fake handle, and you're like,
Yeah.
whatever, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those types of people, I'm like, bah.
Yeah.
I'll be a keyboard warrior with people who are anonymizing themselves.
Yeah.
But somebody who's sending a message and it's the real person, real showing up, I'll be a little more
Yeah.
tempered.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, most people would never say that in person. They're not going to walk up to you and say
they
that.
definitely would.
But on their keyboard, they feel a lot more brave.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting story happen. We had a Phoenix police officer on our show a few years ago, and he gave me a thin blue line tie.
Oh yeah.
So I support police.
Yep. I do too.
And so I said to him, I go, "Yeah, I'm a cool tie. I just like the tie." And I go, "I'm going to wear this tomorrow." He goes, "No, you're not." I go, "Why not?" "Yeah, sure, I'm going to." Not even thinking about I don't think about the political part of it.
Yep.
I don't care about that. So I wore it. Nobody said a thing. This was like 5 years ago. Then about 3 years ago, I'm going through my closet and I'm wearing a dark blue suit. I'm like, I love that tie. I'll wear that. I'm not thinking about what it
stood for,
or what some people think it stands for. Whatever. I think it's a cool tie, so I wore it. And somebody it was Twitter then. It was like a fake name, like Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Jack. I don't remember. They are like, "How dare you wear that tie on TV?" I'm like, "What? Why?" And they're like, "You need to be fired." And they literally, we were owned by a different company, called and got in touch with the CEO trying to get me fired for wearing a tie.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I do have a couple. We're following up here, wrapping up. I want a couple of media questions. Favorite guest you've ever had? Like a story that's just awesome. Got to tell that one.
Gosh, that's so hard. I've had the pleasure of interviewing everybody. I would say, I could sit here and say Larry Fitzgerald or Senator McCain used to come on all the time. People like that. We've had a lot of politicians, sports figures, the Doobie Brothers.
Oh man,
that's the one thing I was nervous about because I grew up with them. But the most amazing people are the common people with extraordinary stories. I always say that.
Yeah.
Somebody who saved somebody's life. I'm just doing my job. I didn't think of it as anything special. And then they're like this big, huge hero.
Yeah.
That's why I do this job.
Yeah. What about one that's
that.
like weird, awkward, stood out? Like it's funny. You're like, oh my God, you're not gonna believe this happened.
Which day?
Like
Which day are we talking about?
Like when Joaquin Phoenix shows up on
like earlier this morning.
Yeah, people always go, do you ever make mistakes? I'm like, we're live for 4 hours. Every day I make a mistake. And it's funny because people never come up and go, man, that coverage on that story, the way you read it was amazing. They're like, hey, remember when you screwed up? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, I was spitting out my coffee. It was so fun, so funny. So, well, the Doobie Brothers, I don't know. I try not to get nervous, but I was so nervous with these two guys. And I'm sitting here. I think I was.
Oh, I can't even
I was
imagine.
sitting like this, and they're that way, and I'm like this, and then Tara's like,
trying to find his hiding
"Why are you
spot."
sitting like that?" And I go, "I don't know. I just was nervous." So just things like that.
I love it.
Where you don't think about it, but then your coworkers love to rib you about it later.
Oh yeah.
You guys have such a good crew, and I've been in doing just the local promotion stuff around the country. You guys still at 3-5 team, even the ones that have moved on. You guys are stay friends.
We are friends.
I mean,
we always go. It's
crew.
like a family. It's not BS. It's true.
I know.
We all really love each other and have fun. And it's one of the reasons why I come to. If I didn't like my coworkers, I wouldn't still be coming to work. I love my coworkers, my bosses. It's a fantastic place to work.
Yep.
I feel like, man, when I leave, that job is going to be wanted by a lot of people. It's a great job.
And you'll be friends with those people. I remember, I appreciate when you supported us at Ambassadors Compassion with Jared Colangelo last year, and I invited local media to come in, not just for media coverage. I mean, a couple people had showed up in that regard, but that's not what I wanted. I want people to come in as my friends.
Yeah.
And it was so cool, interviewing Jerry Colangelo, which is pretty effing cool.
Yeah.
The guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Just amazing
He is.
man. But to look out at the room and you see even compete somebody at Fox, somebody at ABC 15, somebody at Channel 35, and then everybody hangs out in friends. I don't know if that's just our market. I don't know if that's normal, but I think it's pretty special.
Yeah, because we're all kind of it's like firefighters. We're all brothers, you know. So, I'm friends with, there's obviously people I've never met before, and I'll see them, hey, I'm Scott, I see you on TV.
Yeah.
But I'm good, like Troy and Ron Hoon, and I'm friends with all those guys. We don't hang out per se, but I'm very friendly to one another.
All right, Matt, so well, the last question, you've already talked about the real estate stuff, but you say 2 more years. I'm not going to hold you to that.
I think, I'm not holding myself to it.
What's the next chapter going to be beyond
probably
real estate? Anything else?
what I'm going to do is when that time comes, my bosses have been super cool. They're like, you can work as long as you want. You just let us know what you want to do. So I'm so honored to have bosses like that. But I think when I'm done with Channel 3, which is going to be a hard day, I'm going to take a year off and then just do nothing. I'm going to decide what I want, what my next phase of my life will be. Maybe I'll do part-time TV. Maybe I'll do commercial. I don't know. But I will be doing real estate.
Yeah.
In some form or another.
Okay. I have one last question.
Go for it.
Two tips from you to us. Pure Heart Media. We're going into this whole podcast.
Oh, God, you guys are awesome. I've always said just be who you are.
Yeah.
You're nice guys. You're laid back and cool guys. So just be yourself.
Yep.
That's what I've always tried to be. Is I make mistakes. I go, yeah, I make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm just some dude on TV.
Yeah.
And it's worked out okay for me. So just be who you are.
Authenticity wins.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah.
If you put on an air, people know.
Yeah,
They
that's
spot it.
good,
People
man.
are not dumb.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, no, you guys
I appreciate
are
you coming on. All right, well, that's a wrap for today. We could
went
talk
fast.
to Scott Pasmore
Lot of
for
fun.
hours and hours.
Lot of fun.
When you
Yeah.
talk to somebody who's been in the media for 30 plus years, you can ask him about crazy stories. Who's the most famous person they've never met? I mean, I go on and on with questions. So we got to bring you on again if you don't mind.
Sure,
In the
anytime.
future, especially when we get towards retirement, we start bragging on him and his next chapter of life. So I'm signing off. Mike Lindstrom, my man, Scott Leese. We'll see you guys in the next episode.